Hello, coaches. Welcome back to another episode of Coach Better Spotlight. Today, we're chatting with Daniela Silva, Director of Innovation at Colegio FDR, the American School of Lima in Peru. In the full podcast, we talk about the importance of presenting change, not as a loss, but as an opportunity to grow. Today's Spotlight focuses on the way that the coaches at Colegio FDR use the technology integration matrix to help teachers better understand where they are in their technology learning journey to help them identify where they want to go. For coaches that are looking for resources to support technology professional growth with their teachers, this episode is full of great ideas. If you enjoy any part of this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more conversations like this, please subscribe to our channel and click the notifications bell to find out every time we release a new episode. Remember, you can also listen to the full Coach Better episode wherever you get your podcasts. We are passionate about the impact coaching can have on student learning, school culture, and teacher professional growth, and we want to help you coach better. We've got some great opportunities for more learning after today's conversation, so stick around all the way to the end. Welcome back to another episode of Coach Better. Today, Clint and I are here with Daniela Silva from FDR, the American School of Lima. Daniela, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being on with us today.
Thank you, Kim. Thanks, Clint, for inviting me. It's awesome to be here.
Yay! Daniela, can you tell us a little bit about your professional background as an educator and maybe a little bit about your school so we get to know a little bit about you and where you work?
Right. So I have been in education for 15 years and 12 years in leadership positions. I started my career in South America, in Ecuador. I'm originally from Ecuador. My mom is from China. My father's from Brazil. My husband's from Uruguay. And my daughter was born in Nepal. So I'm pretty international.
So cool.
And,
wow.
and after that, I moved and I was intrigued about international education and also the International Baccalaureate program. So I went into that and went to an international school in Ecuador, convinced my husband to go to China, where I was an IT director and high school principal in a school in Ningbo, south of Shanghai. And after that, I went to COHORT Foundation, where I was one of the founders of one of their schools called COHORT Academy Sidra as their IT director. And soon after that, the foundation created a lot more schools. We ended up with 8 schools when I left. So I was part of the district office at that time as the 21st century learning leader for the 8 school. And we were building 3 schools at that moment. It was a great challenge. I worked with librarians. I worked with instructional coaches. I worked with counselors. And we actually created a future-ready district framework for all the schools. After that, I felt the need that, my family was growing, my daughter was born, so we wanted to be closer to home. And an opportunity came at Colegio FDR, the American School of Lima, and it was a great opportunity, and I'm the current Director of Technology and Learning Innovation.
It sounds like the coaching culture is relatively new at FDR, certainly from maybe an educational technology standpoint. What kind of feedback are you getting from those teachers that they're working with?
It's great feedback. We're actually using the team matrix, the technology integration matrix from the Florida Institute of Technology. So we were using that for the teachers to know, where you are and where would you want to be and how much have you grown. So that's been very good for the teachers to understand, okay, this is not a tool that is assessing me, but it's helping me grow as a professional, as an educator with a direct impact on the learning environment. So we have had a really good, I see you laughing, Clint.
I'll
good
tell
feedback.
You in just a second.
And so it's been great. Teachers wanted more and more coaches, but that's a profession and that's a a position that it's decreasing in international schools nowadays, because it has the less amount of contact hours with students. So it's been really hard to sustain that. For example, in Cara Foundation, we also have the same issue. But now we're going to have a makerspace teaching assistant. So that's going to free up the time from the two coaches so they can go inside the classes, they can plan with the teachers, and they can coach better.
I was laughing because Kim and I just previously had a conversation with James Welch, who runs the Florida Center for
Instructional technology.
For instructional technology, and they're the ones who developed him. And he was saying that exact thing. Is it's a great tool. They see it as a potential tool to ignite some of these coaching conversations. And I think he'll be happy to hear that that's exactly how you guys are using the technology integration matrix. Just to take a look at practice and maybe to have a third point for people to look at and to have that conversation around what they're doing and why they're doing it and what decisions they're making about how and why they want students to have access to technology in their classrooms and their lessons. So he will be super excited to hear that that's exactly what you guys are doing at FDR. And I'm interested, that idea that you were just saying that, in some schools, coaching positions are decreasing because of the lack of contact hours. And this is something that Kim and I talk about a lot with a lot of our guests. And in some of the panels that we have is like, how are you showing your worth as a coach, and what are you doing to say to your administration, actually, don't cut this. This is having a huge impact on student learning and on teacher professional learning and on developing that culture of innovation and that culture of growth mindset and that culture of lifelong learning that, every school is after. And I'm curious to know how with more access to time, like you said, coming up in the next school year, how your coaches are going to be able to leverage that time to think about how they're going to advertise their position or advertise their accomplishments, to say to your community, this is a super important endeavor that we've got going on here.
So we actually, in order to sustain that idea of leveraging the coaches and also, dropping some innovation bombs around the school and, making that simmer for a little bit and it will come out later on, we created something called FDR Transformers at the beginning of the school year. So the FDR Transformers, it was an initiative that we started where teachers were applied to say, hey, I would like to try new technology because, everybody gets a laptop, but now everybody wants an iPad. Well, for you, in order to get an iPad, you need to be part of this initiative. It was not just about the iPad, but it was also about, okay, let's change my projector for a TV screen, or let's put an Apple TV in my classroom, or let me find out how do I better use the document camera. How can I leverage that tool in order to get more student engagement into that, or making the students use it instead of the teacher. So the FDR Transformers actually was a moment for teachers to try new technologies, to try new instructional strategies, and also access to professional development. So 5 of the FDR Transformers are just coming back from the ISTE conference. And these actually, started small. We had around 15 teachers from nursery all the way to 12th grade that were interested. And they had some requirements. They had to post at least once per semester in the teaching and learning blog that we had. They had to be willing to be observed with the team matrix by one of our coaches. And they had to be at least involved a little bit in social media somehow. We're trying to push that out. And so they can see the power of Twitter, the power of being a connected educator as well. And this actually gave some fruits. At the end of the school year, I already had at least 5 teachers emailing me and said, when is the next FDR Transformers cohort going to happen? Because I really want to be involved now. So we use the coaches to pass on those cheerleader moments to other teachers as well. Because sometimes when things come from their teachers, their peers, it will have a better effect than if it comes from a coach. So that's the approach that we're doing right now.
Totally. I think that is such a strong model, is getting teachers to advocate to other teachers, because we talk about this all the time. Coaches are perceived as the experts in that area. And so if the coach is the one saying, oh, this is so easy, or you could do this, or look at this new idea, of course the teachers think, well, it's easy for you, you're the coach. But if they're hearing it from another teacher, it's so much more relatable and authentic. And immediately they see, okay, if that person can do it in that classroom, then I should be able to do it in my classroom. So I love that idea of teachers connecting to other teachers. Did you enjoy today's episode? Then you will love the Coach Microcredential program. We know because our current participants are always sharing their feedback with us, and we ask them to share their experiences with you. Each week, we'll be sharing a new voice from inside the cohort of the coach, so you can get a participant's perspective on what will make the program just right for you.
Because the course is structured so that I set my own goals and reflect on my strengths and weaknesses as I engage with the content, I've become much more articulate about guiding the conversation in a way that is comfortable toward more student agency, more authentic connections, more technology-rich learning opportunities that foster deeper learning. And I'm also more able to articulate the added value of what it means to be coached by me.
This is just one of the voices from our current The Coach cohort. Here's what a few others have to say.
I'd really advise anyone interested in taking the coach to take the plunge and go for it.
So I highly recommend it.
So do it.
So I say go for it. Definitely take the coach. I couldn't recommend it more.
But overall, this course is fantastic because it's made me feel awesome. It's made me feel excited for my future.
If I were to give any piece of advice or message to future cohort members, it is to take the course. If you are on the fence, please take it.
As you can see, this micro-credential is for all educators, not just coaches, because you develop the coaching skills you can use in all aspects of your practice. You don't have to be a coach to have a coaching conversation with a student, a fellow colleague, a school leader, or even a parent. When you're ready to learn more about the coach, click on the link below or reach out to us at Eduro Learning on any of our social media platforms. Registration for our next cohort opens soon. Don't miss it. Expand your professional learning network, dive deep into 26 weeks of curated coaching content, and get your own private mentor for an entire academic year. We can't wait to work with you. Are you ready to take your coaching skills to the next level? Join the next cohort of The Coach and make it happen.